All right, good morning, everybody, on Tuesday, May 11th, up in Milwaukee. I hope everybody is having a great start to your day. And I got to give a big shout out to everybody. Shout out to Sharon Warsh, first of all, for your son in his service to the Whitefish Bay Police Department. But second of all, thank you to everybody who called me out for wearing socks with sandals. I did not realize it would become such an international incident, but our family laughed about it for days. And I don't think I've heard the end of it yet. So I appreciate all of the fashion police out there calling me out for it. But I sincerely appreciated the good hearty laugh last week when I posted that. So thanks, guys. All right, guys, a couple reminders. We've talked a lot about our mission, vision, values statement, right? And the mission statement around careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving, right? And I ground the group so much in this the past couple weeks around who it is, what it is that we do, and who it is that we serve, right? And so much of this, I truly believe, is a major impact of what we do for Red Day, right? And Red Day is all around renew, energize, and donate. And I would seriously, legit, guys, if you have not had the opportunity to sign up yet, we'll make sure. I know Britton and Megan sent it out yesterday, but if you'd like to join us in person, we're going to be giving back to Zacharias Acres, who we heard from last week, an incredible organization to provide an outdoor space for kids with special needs, and they need lots of help. They need lots of help to get the place up and running for the season, and we would love to give back to them. Big shout out to Kevin Matson, who helped us hook up with Zacharias Acres. But if you haven't signed up yet, guys, we'll have breakfast for you when you show up. Zacharias Acres will be there to give a little bit of presentation about what the work they do, and then we're going to be working on their property from about 9 till 3. Lunch will be provided. But it's a great way to get back and be a part of the culture in the community and see people that you may not have seen in a long time, or meet some new faces, or introduce yourself to new people, and do it in a great way. One of the things I do want to point out too, guys, just so you know, across all the locations, the offices will be closed for the day. And what I mean by that is, if you have closings or you have client meetings and you're not able to make it, no worries. You still have access to the offices. But my entire leadership team that serves all the 3 locations will be at Zacharias Acres that day. So I just want you to be prepared in the event that you are in and around the office that day and you wonder why it's a ghost town or where people are. But if you haven't had a chance to sign up yet, guys, it's an incredible day. And if you're hesitant about it, ask anybody who's been to Red Day before, and what it can do for you mentally to really kind of give you a pep in your step. And the other thing I would say that with regards to Red Day is, for those of you who are still may not be comfortable attending something in person outdoors, like, know this: there's still ways that you can give back to our community. And 2 weeks ago, we heard from an incredible organization around Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge and what they can do to provide various articles for our homeless community in Milwaukee, and how we can give back to that group. And I want to thank everybody who's contributed so far. We have a gigantic box in the North Shore office. I know Tosa's collecting items, as well as Lake Country. But here's the list of things if you want to leverage this with your database. If you want to reach out to people and collect things as people are doing spring cleaning, Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge is always in need of things, and we want to help those, in the homeless community, because they still have a home. They have a home and they have needs as well. And as Mr. Bob so eloquently put, everybody needs to feel valued, and that's a big part of who their organization is. So if feel free, you're able to participate in both, right? Like, you don't have to choose one or the other, but it's 2 organizations that I think are incredible organizations that we can give back to. And again, I can't stress enough the amount of positive mental energy, or maybe a reset that a day like this can give to you. So I encourage you to participate if you haven't yet registered or signed up. And for those of you who have, thank you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us, as we're here to help you or answer any questions. And listen, I'll also tell you, from those of you leaving from the east side, if you want to jump in my car, because I know Zacharias Acres is out in Lake Country, you're free. Meet me in the office at 8 o'clock. We'll fill up all the seats. And yeah, would love to see a bunch of people out there. Awesome. All right, so a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, we finished April Transmittal, and that means we have a boatload of people to celebrate, right? And what I mean by when it's time to celebrate them, what you have to understand is these people are receiving a 46% raise, right? And people are like, oh, you go from 70-30 to 100%. No, well, you got to take into account, right? The 3 divided by 7, it's a 42% raise. So a big shout out to a bunch of people who capped in the month of April who are going to be earning 100% of their commissions through their anniversary date. And let's get it rocking and rolling. First up, a newly licensed associate who is on Corey Doublebolt's team, Samantha Cobb, came from the fashion industry and has killed it right away in the real estate game. Samantha Cobb, congratulations on capping in the month of April. Incredible start to your career in real estate. Super excited for you and stoked for your success. Next up, Ellen DeRoga, longtime real estate mogul. Her family's been in the business a long time, an incredible negotiator, sharp as a tack. Also, if you didn't know, Ellen's a former attorney. Always challenges me, keeps me on my toes, makes sure that we're doing the right things for our people and that we're challenging, our entities that are supposed to serve us, like MLS, GMAR, and so on and so forth. So Ellen DeRoga, congrats on capping in the month of April. Enjoy 100% of your commissions. All right, next up, the coolest kid on the block, Nick Fetting. Congrats on capping in the month of April. I'm still working on getting Bob Babish to book The Boss for Summerfest. I know that is the one show that you want to see. So we'll keep working Bob Babish over to get The Boss over to Summerfest. But Nick Fetting, congrats to you and your girls for capping in the month of April. All right, next up, Carla Florence. It looks like she's coming straight from the Kentucky Derby. Carla Florence, congrats on capping in the month of April. You've had incredible success since jumping over to KW. I think your business was up 80% last year. Absolutely taking market share over in the Elm Grove, Brookfield, Tosa markets. Incredible stuff. Carla Florence, congrats on all of your success. Congratsing on capping in the month of April. All right, next up, it's a family member of mine, if there aren't enough of them in the business, but Sarah Hansen, if you don't know her story, get this. She moved from Annapolis, Maryland after being in real estate for, I think, 30 years over in the Annapolis market, moved to Milwaukee, and picked up right where she left off, right? She is the epitome of when you pour into the activities of your business, that you can have success no matter where you are, right? And Sarah Hansen, congrats on capping in the month of April. All right, next up, Sarah Oberbrunner, one of the most intentional people I know. And if you haven't had a chance to connect with Sarah Oberbrunner, you absolutely should. She's an incredibly kind and caring person. Talk about someone who started in this business, 100% was dependent on internet lead generation. And this year, she sent us, Maureen and I, a note this morning, 98% of her business is now repeat and referral. 98% of her business is repeat and referral. And for someone who thought she had to depend on those internet leads that were so expensive, she has completely made a shift in her career and her lifestyle. Sarah Oberbrunner, congrats on capping in the month of April. Super excited for you. All right, next up, Simonis. This guy, he's got 4 kids. The guy manages it a ton. He's got a ton of investment properties. He's jumped right in. He's married to an incredible woman, Holy Family grad. Shout out to the Holy Family grads of the world. Patrick Simonis, congrats on capping in the month of April and for all of your continued success in the real estate world. All right, next up, Jackie Spilius, a relatively newer agent, younger agent. This shows you that you can do this business in your young 20s and have success, right, guys? When you do the activities, success will show up. Jackie is the epitome of it, is doing open houses, is taking showings for people. She is pouring into others, and you can have really good success in this business at a young age. Jackie Spilius, congrats on capping in the month of April. All right, next up, Karen Spinty. I call her the assistant to the executive director of the Chicago Botanical Gardens, because I know it's one of her favorite places. She's down there all the time. But Spinty, quick little side note for you. You want to know how giving and caring Karen Spinty is? I got stuck at Chicago Midway one night at like 12:31 in the morning. And I threw out an APB, hey, I need someone to pick me up at the airport. Does anybody have a car? And Spinty drove down to Midway to pick me up and drive us home. And that's the kind of person she is. Karen Spinty, congrats on capping in the month of April. We love you. All right, last one is my wife, Megan Stale. Congrats on capping in the month of April, sister. We love you. All right. I apologize. One last one. Tyler Stanley, jumped over from Shore West, has been in this business a while, was supporting a team, and now went off on his own, has had incredible success, joined us over in the Tosa location. Tyler Stanley, congrats on your incredible growth within your real estate career and doing it on your own. Congrats, Tyler. All right, Deej, I'm flipping it over to you for the handful of Lake Country folks for April Cappers. Deej? Must be heaven.
Congratulations on your capping success. Couldn't be happier for you professionally and personally. Congrats on your engagement as well. Super excited about that. And Robin McCormick, here you are. Congratulations to you too. You've had a super successful start of your year. I know you spent time up north this weekend celebrating with your family and your mom, and we want to celebrate you too with all of your success that you've had. Congratulations. I love this. Nikki Kunik, one of our rock star agents here, always pouring into her clients and pouring into other agents in the Market Center. Started 2 years ago, ALC member for 2 years, leadership just oozing out of you and success in your business too. We couldn't be more proud of everything you've accomplished for you and your beautiful family there. I love this. And one more, somebody else who's also contributed amazing amounts to this Market Center and to helping our people get going. She's your home in Florida, your kids are married, everything you've done in the past couple of years. Congratulations on capping this year too. Super successful. Love it.
And if you want a good, you need someone to meet you up for happy hour to help you give you a kick in the butt. Connie Cummings is a great phone call away to help you join you and help pour into your business. I love getting drinks with Connie Cummings. All right, guys, couple upcoming training and events things I want to call out. First up, I want to do a little bit of a rewind. Why do I want to do a little bit of a rewind? Because I want to give a big shout out to Jay Schmidt and Janine Warner last week. They gave an hour and 20 minutes of their time to go through the listing objections they're hearing on the marketplace today, right? And if you hadn't had a chance to check it out, it's up on the YouTube channel now. There are some great nuggets of information as to how they're handling and managing their listing objections and the way that they're navigating through the market. And if you haven't had a chance, I would highly, highly encourage you to go check out the YouTube channel. And big shout out to Jay and Janine for pouring into our group as it relates to how do you handle the listing objections. So be sure to check that out, and we will make sure to also send out the recording in the Insights and Resources email. Couple other things coming up this week. A couple things I want to shout out. One thing on the live stream, for those of you who had the opportunity to learn from Brady Sandall with the KW Luxury Learning Series, there is another luxury learning series this week, Friday, on KW Connect. So I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Also, locally, what do we got coming up? Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Kathy Popovich is going through the Team Trimble listing presentations, right? So Jay and Janine last week did listing objections. This week, Kathy Popovich is doing the Team Trimble listing presentation. Here's what I know. It was one of the most watched YouTube videos that we've had in the past. And when we saw that, we said, no one else better to come back and do it. Kathy Popovich, big shout out. And then as a reminder, on Thursday, May 13th, we got KW Red Day supporting Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge and Zacharias Acres. Next up, next week, Tuesday, I want to throw something on your calendars from 2 to 4 p.m. is the KW Effect with Aaron Kaufman, right? You hear about people who are taking advantage of profit share. How do they do it? What does it mean? How are they, what are the things you say to influence people as it relates to earning your unfair share of profit share? Come and check it out. We got Aaron Kaufman zooming in for KW Milwaukee from 2 to 4 next week afternoon. A couple other things. Oh, and here is the flyer for the Aaron Kaufman. We will make sure that we send out all the details as it relates to the Aaron Kaufman event. A great way, if you want to understand how to take advantage of profit share, it's a great way to do it. Next up, we got another wrinkle that we're going to throw at you guys, and something that someone came to us and wanted to provide an opportunity for people. And big shout out to Gail Zeman. Gail Zeman came up with a concept in what she calls agent to agent with Gail. And what she's going to be doing is she's going to spend Monday mornings at the KW Innovation Office, right over there in Tosa at the library tables for complete open office hours, guys. from 10 a.m. to 12. And what she wants you to come with is come with what happened over the weekend. Come with the offers that you got rejected or the offers that you got accepted. You need some help. You have questions. You need someone to work through your listing presentation. You need someone to help you with a buyer consultation. She is going to be willing to give of her time every single Monday for 2 hours from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Whether you're brand new to the business, you've seasoned in the business, or you're just looking for a little bit of insider advice, check out Gail. Gail will be there in the innovation office every Monday moving forward from 10 a.m. to 12 at the office library tables to have one-on-one interactions with agents, to give back, to help people, because she said she got to where she is today because someone helped her along her journey, and she wants to give back to those as well. So it's a great resource for people as you come out of a potentially busy weekend to have an opportunity to sit down with a very successful, very seasoned agent who is a former educator, and have her pour into you and leverage her as a resource to be able to do that. So make sure every Monday now, we're going to add this to the training calendar from 10 to 12, agent to agent with Gail Zeman. Big shout out to Gail. Thank you for giving of your time. And anybody from any location is able to come and sit down to meet with her. All right, cool, guys. Lindsay Vranek, I'm flipping it over to you for Tech Tuesdays. What do we got?
All right, so there is no tech workshop this week, but I wanted to touch on something that if we've sat down together before, you've probably heard me talk about this. It's the bi-weekly or the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan. So this is the easiest follow-up plan in Command, and it's 100% automated. And there's two options. There's the bi-weekly or monthly. So you're either touching your contacts 12 times a year or 24 times a year. And again, easiest thing that you can do in Command, in my opinion. So whenever you're adding your database, in order to set this up, you need two pieces of information for your contacts. So you need their email address and you need one neighborhood. So if you're adding a primary home address, that neighborhood automatically gets added. The best part is that you can manually add multiple neighborhoods. So let's say you have a buyer who's currently renting and they're looking to buy somewhere else. You can do it the same thing. If someone's selling their home and they're looking to buy somewhere else, you can manually add some other neighborhoods with areas in which they're looking. And so I'm actually going to dive deeper into this and show you guys exactly what this looks like and how you can set it up. So let me share my screen. And
while she's doing that, guys, I want to point something out. Last 2 weeks, we've talked about Chris Ruskowitz came on to talk about the letter that she provided, right? And to say, what's your magic number? And then last week, I gave you a little nugget where people were sending out unsolicited CMAs. If you want to automate that process and provide people the market information, pricing information as to what's going on in their neighborhood, the monthly neighborhood nurture is the perfect way to trip on people in an automated way to get them the information that we actually just talked about the last 2 weeks.
Yep, exactly. It's simple as that. So you guys, so when you're in the contact, you'll see I've got the email address and I have this person's home address. So you'll notice if you've got that primary home address, it automatically assigns this primary neighborhood. If you want to add additional neighborhoods, you can click Find on Map or add additional neighborhoods and then Find on Map. And then you can start zooming in and you'll see these green boundaries. And so all of this data, the neighborhood names, the boundaries, those are all pulling from the Nextdoor app. And so that's a neighborhood specific app where people can download, connect with their neighbors, get some more information on that area. But as you can see, I'm hovering over these and I can add some additional neighborhoods if I want to. So I'll go ahead and save that. Next, if you want to add them to that smart plan, and if you've already added it into your smart plans, you can directly do it in here in that contact detail page. So there's that smart plans tab, and I'll click add to smart plan. And here are some other smart plans that I have, but I'm going to scroll down and I'll find either the monthly or the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. And if you hover over these, it's going to kind of tell you a bit more information here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hit select. And so I can start it now, or I can start it on a specific date, and then that's gonna send bi-weekly, so every 14 days. So I'm gonna start that immediately and confirm. So I'm setting that contact up. Now let's go ahead and look at what exactly they're going to receive. So you'll notice I have this preview button here. And so that's going to take me into this page. This is what they're going to get. So they're going to get an email and they're going to click off into this page. And you'll notice that a lot of this information looks very similar to what you'll see in the KW app on your agent website, but it's basically an email form. So your clients can go in here and see what active homes are for sale so that they can compare that to their own home to kind of get a market value on what's going on in their neighborhood. So I've got active and pending homes for sale. I've got that neighborhood on the map here so I can see exactly where that's pulling from. I've got a lead capture form, so if they want to request more information, they can. This is all branded to you, so it's pulling from your marketing profile in Command. And what I think the best part is this neighborhood stats page. So you click on that tab, and that's going to pull in even more information about that neighborhood. So I can see the average home sale price, price per square feet, average days on market. And then if I scroll down, I've got current stats, sold stats. And as a consumer, I can also put in a transit and commute time. So if I want to see, okay, how long is it going to take me from this neighborhood to where I work or my kids' schools, I can type that in and get that information. So super simple. I can calculate driving, biking, or walking, and I can add up to 3 places. The other information is nearby schools. So it also has student-teacher ratios. It's got Yelp integration, so I can see local businesses near that neighborhood. Additional homes for sale, nearby neighborhoods. So all of this data is completely automated. It sends every single month. Once you set it up, you do not have to do anything else. And like Charlie said, it's that unsolicited CMA, so they can check the value of their home every month. So you guys, it's super simple to set up. Like I said, you just need 2 pieces of information, the email address and 1 neighborhood. So if you guys have any questions on that, don't hesitate to reach out. We can set up a one-on-one. There are a ton of resources online, and that gets me to, if you saw my post last week about the Command 66-Day Challenge 5.0, Marty Miller, that started yesterday. And so he does an excellent job. If you want to just take kind of a piece by piece, like learning about Command, this is a great opportunity. So the videos are only about like 5 minutes long, even less than that. And he literally goes through 1 piece of Command every single day for 66 days. And so subscribe to his YouTube channel. You'll get notified of new videos, and you can check those out right on there. So it's a great opportunity to just learn about Command, brush up your knowledge on Command. You can scroll through and pick and choose what videos you want to learn more about, including the monthly neighborhood nurture. So you guys, no tech training this week. If you want to set up a one-on-one, I'm in the TOSA office all day today. Feel free to pop in, say hi, ask any questions. Obviously, Red Day is on Thursday, so I won't be out in Lake Country, just in Oconomowoc helping out there. And then North Shore Wednesday and Friday. So again, just reach out, set up a meeting, or just pop in the office and we can chat.
Perfect. Lindsay, thank you. Guys, I will tell you from multiple conversations I've had with people, consumers, right? So I call it the Sendix conversation. I've heard from more people who open those emails every single month, and I'll even give you an anecdotal piece of evidence. I get one of those emails every month from our mortgage lender who we got our mortgage through a couple years ago. And every single month, even though I'm in the industry and even though I'm looking at the data all the time, and even though I have access to the MLS, I click on his little email to be like, oh, what's my home worth now? Or, oh, what are the homes in my neighborhood going for? It's an easy way to automate that unsolicited CMA to your database. And it's so rich with data, whether it's schools, restaurants, there's so much stuff in there that I think is so underutilized. 1. 2, I want to give a big shout out to Lindsay Vranick. I know many of you saw the post on Facebook, and it may have been slightly confusing, but I wanted to give a big shout out because I know many people are familiar or have heard of the name Marty Miller, and Marty is kind of like the command guru for KW. And we have invested in Lindsay and Lindsay's career and her ability to pour into you guys. And we've actually hired Marty Miller personally to be Lindsay Vranick's coach. So Lindsay is now being coached directly by the Marty Miller, so that she can provide you guys the best access of information, how to best leverage command at the highest way possible. And Lindsay, thank you for everything that you do to help our associates. And guys, don't hesitate to come to a training with Lindsay or set up a one-on-one, because she is an incredible resource that many offices are not fortunate enough to have. And Lindsay has been incredible for our people. So if you have any questions on any of this stuff, and as I've challenged many of you throughout the year, is automate, automate, automate. If you want to learn how to automate more of your lead generation, connect with Lindsay, because she has an incredible wealth of knowledge about the system and the platform. And we're super stoked that now she's coached by Marty Miller. Lindsay, congrats. All right, guys, jumping into it now. Steph Kennard, we got a few compliance updates that people need to be paying attention to. Why? Because there's some law changes coming up. All right, Steph, what do we got?
Hi, good morning, guys. Just a few things to go over. First, Joni and I are going to add a compliance help desk session every Thursday beginning next week between 11:30 and 12 p.m. You'll use the same Zoom ID as the contract training that is held every Monday. But we thought it would be really valuable to add this additional time for your 411 questions. We love the group discussion that stems from your questions. Obviously, still come to us via email, phone, but we would love to have that more group discussion and another opportunity for you guys to learn from each other. So every Thursday, 11:30 to 12, hop on, we'll be there. And then next up, so the home inspector bill, this has been in the works for a while. It was finally passed this spring. It'll be effective June 1st. I just wanted to go over the key pieces of this legislation that is most important to us as agents and as for our buyers and sellers. So first up being the summary page. Now inspectors will be required to include a summary page of the conditions that they found. This will create consistency with these reports. And obviously, as we know, these inspection reports can be overwhelming for consumers. So having this summary page will be fantastic for them. And then next up, probably the most significant piece of all of this is the requirement for a home inspector to call a defect a defect. Currently, home inspectors are just required to identify the conditions that fall under the definition of a defect. Now in these reports, they'll need to label them as such. This is going to hopefully avoid confusion for buyers and sellers and us as agents, namely and most significantly when it comes down to serving that notice of defects. So we'll see how this all plays out going forward, but hopefully this will alleviate a lot of issues that we see when it comes to negotiating a home inspection. And then we just wanted to point out, this does not change how you negotiate these inspections. The inspection contingency will still play out the same way. You're going to come to a meeting of the minds via an amendment first, as always. And then if that notice of defects needs to come into play, that's when you will use it, but does not change how you guys negotiate these repairs. All right. And then another training to put on your radar, mark your calendars, please, for May 18th at 12 p.m. We highly encourage you guys to attend this training with Corey Lamont. She is the Senior Director of Legal Affairs at the WRA, one of the top dogs. This is a great training for her to be able to guide us through how we should write some certain contingencies or certain provisions that are being used in today's market. So we'll send out a link to register in Charlie's meeting recap. So next Tuesday, 12 p.m.
And she is a very succinct, very sharp woman that everybody could learn a lot from. This is an incredible opportunity that she's providing.
100%. And as anyone who's attended a training with her, she's super funny. So it'll be just entertaining anyway. Next, we're going to send out a link to this article in the latest Realtor magazine from the NAR. We just wanted to put forth another reminder, more reminders regarding avoiding legal and ethical pitfalls in our industry. So next slide, Charlie. Just again, the most common issues that we face around multiple offers, wire fraud, seller disclosure, of course, fair housing, social media, just some reminders for everybody. Key takeaways of this article. Remember that you guys, if you come into any legal issues, to come to Joni or Kimmy or I. And then if we need to, if it's beyond the scope of what we can answer for you, we'll point you to the WRA legal hotline, or of course, refer a client to an attorney, their own attorney. Just more reminders on keeping excellent records between your communication with your clients and communication with other agents as well. And then just some reminders now that we're moving into issues regarding multiple offer situations, just best practices, using spreadsheets to make sure that we're documenting every single offer that comes through, making sure that we're presenting them to our clients, to our sellers. And then just some reminders on disclosure to multiple buyers in the same search area. So this has actually come up a few times for me in the past couple months. You know, we've got multiple buyers as buyer's agents looking in the same area. And what do we do when the same client, or when, sorry, different clients want to write on the same property? Just reminders that you can write for your buyers, just as long as you disclose that you could be writing for another buyer client on the same property. And then also giving them the option of being assigned to another agent if they so choose. So again, please just read that article when it comes out in the meeting recap. And that is all I have.
Yeah, it is especially when you're representing multiple buyers on the same property. We all would highly encourage you to bring in another agent to write the initial offer until you get through whichever offer is accepted, and then come back in. You'll have many people who will raise their hand who are willing to help you, and you don't want to put yourself in any sort of risk as it relates to any litigation or fiduciary responsibility. And so we always encourage people to bring in somebody else to help with that.
100%. Also, I wanted to just tack on with the spreadsheets for multiple offers. There are a few templates floating around. I have a copy. If you need one, please come to me.
Cool. Thanks, Steph.
Thank you.
All right, guys, now I'm going to wrap up. I had the opportunity to recap some of April, and some of the April numbers have come in and really kind of settled out now that people have really entered in the end of month numbers into the MLS. And so I have a better idea to give you a perspective. And so what I wanted to do is do something I've done in the past, but it's been a while, is I broke down some of the numbers by price segment so that you could really get an understanding of the three different price segments that we see in Milwaukee. And that really breaks it down from 0 to 350, 350 to 700, and 700 and above. So let's take a look, and we'll jump right in. But something that I want to remind you of, and this is reminders for the market of the moment. And I talked about this last week, but for everybody's mental health, I think it's a good reminders as to where the market is and how competitive and tough it can be. And remember, the market right now is deceptive. We're hurdling a lot of things last spring. So what you'll see for me today is I'm actually going to compare the market to where we were in 2019. Because 2020 was a deceptive year, and you can't look at 2020 unless you look at it in totality, but we're not there yet. Second, it's a humbling market. It's okay, right? Like, it's okay to be humbled by the market and understand that everybody is facing very similar challenges and that your challenges aren't unique, but it's a very humbling market. Next, great markets don't last. Great agents do. Why? Because you're not in it to have a great year. You're in it to have a great career. So even if the market of the moment is humbling and it can be deceptive, it's okay. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You're here to build a great career. You're here to be consistent, and consistency equals success, right? Be consistent in your activities. Success will show up. All right, so let's get into it. In the homes that are less than 350,000, there's a lot of metrics here, and I know a lot of numbers on the page. So I'm going to give you some cliff notes as it relates to this information. Homes that are less than 350,000 in the southeastern Wisconsin metro market represent 72% of the total inventory. Guys, I need you to hear that. 72% of the homes in southeastern Wisconsin are less than 350K. When you get into it, the median price point for those homes sold, and again, I'm comparing this April of 2019 versus April of 21, because 2020, if I compared it versus April of 2020, when everyone was stayed home, these numbers would be completely out of whack. So I compared it to a 2-year historical period on a more, what I would call, normal marketplace. And so what does that look like when we compare it to April of 2019, which was also a very healthy market? Median for the price point homes sold, again, for 72% of the inventory, which is less than 350K right now, is up 16% when you compare it versus 2019. Those homes that are going under contract, you can see here, very interesting, homes that are going under contract, the median price point is up 5.3%, and then the median sold is up 9%. So you can see what's happening here. Again, we've talked about this before, it's Econ 101, incredibly low supply, incredibly high demand. What is that doing? Our average price point per square foot sold is up 18% for homes less than 350K. Why is this happening? Well, total inventory at this time of year in April of 21 versus April of 2019 is down 38%. New inventory units, right? It's actually improving, guys. It sounds crazy that I would say it's improving, but new inventory units only down 17%. It's improving. And then lastly, you can see here, days on market went from 39 days on market to 33 days on market. Essentially, what is this saying? Homes are selling at a 17% faster clip than where they were in April of 2019. None of this should probably be surprising, right? Again, this is 72% of the total inventory is less than 350K. Now, the story's slightly different as we move into the next price segment. The next price segment is 350 to 699 or 700K, right? This represents 21% of the overall market inventory. And here's what I tell you: the reason why the numbers are slightly different is interesting. When you compare April of this year versus April of 2019, pricing's actually flat. And remember, April of 2019 was an incredibly strong market, but pricing is flat despite the fact that inventory in this segment is down 23%. Now, interestingly enough, too, new inventory units is up 17%. So what we're starting to see is some of the trade up happening in the 350 to 700 range, which is allowing some of that inventory to turn over. And I think what's happening here, if you compare the macroeconomics of what's going on, again, 72% of the market less than 350K. I think part of the reason is we're still coming out of what I would call the K-shaped recovery. And those people that are impacted the most by what's been going on in the last year, you can see that's what's showing up at the homes less than 350K. It's the largest segment with the highest demand, but yet those people may not be trading up to the next segment yet. Now, when we shift to 350 to 700K, the reason why I say this is an interesting correlation is, yes, this segment of this population of the segment of the population, I believe, has been impacted much far less than those that live in homes less than 350K, right? Just purely from a macroeconomic standpoint. Pricing has remained relatively flat across the 2-year period. Total inventory is down 23%, but new inventory coming to the market is up strong, up 17%. Those are really, really good trends within this price segment. And homes in this price segment are selling 37% faster. So I'll be totally honest with you. I'm not actually sure what to make of this information from the price segment of 350 to 700, because inventory is still down 23% and days on market is still selling 37% faster than it was in prior years. But if you look here, the median price point sold, it's not jumping off the table. It is in price per square foot, but it's not really jumping off the table. So it's an interesting trend I'll be paying attention to. But I believe that what's happening in this segment is these are the people that have been really the least impacted economically. And then we'll go to the next segment. The next price segment is homes more than 700K. It's less than 7% of the total overall market. I'm going to repeat because I think everybody gets enthralled with the $1 million listing on Lake Drive or the $1 million listing on Pine Lake. that represents less than 7% of the total market, right? So if you want to fish, you fish where the fish are, and that's really in the price segment 700 and below. But if you look at the luxury price segment in Milwaukee, very similar story to what we saw from 350 to 700K. Again, I believe macroeconomically, these people have been the least impacted. If anything, they've gained the most amount of net worth based on what's gone on within the stock market and the availability to disposable income. But when you look here, median price point for sale, it's up 2%, nothing crazy. Those homes that are going under contract is up 5%, right? And once it's finally sold, it's pretty much flat. Right. So there's some things going on within contingency negotiations that are driving some of the median price point sold numbers down. Interestingly enough as well, price per square foot is down within this segment as well, but it's not down a ton. So, when I look at this, I really look and I say, hey, if I'm having a grocery store conversation at Sendix, right, and someone says, what's going on with pricing? Well, actually, when you compare over a 2-year historical average, anything below 350, which represents 72% of the total inventory, pricing is through the roof. Anything above 350 and above 700, which really only represents 23% of the total market, it's really not much of a change. It's kind of the market is acting above 350K as it has historically from a pricing perspective. The only thing that's happening is things are moving faster, right? So you can see here again, new inventory units that are coming to the market up 6.6% versus April of 2019. That's solid. And again, as we've seen in all segments, homes are just moving through the system much faster as they're moving 26% faster in the luxury price point from 96 days on market to 71 days on market. So net, when you break it out across all price segments, here's what you get. Pricing is increasing across the total market. And again, it's all being driven by homes less than 350K. Inventory is down and new inventory is down. Again, all driven by homes valued less than 350K. And across all price segments, homes that are being listed or homes that are coming to the market are moving through the system extremely efficiently. So, when we talk to buyers and sellers in the 350 plus range, the market is acting as if it has been. And yes, it's still competitive because of the lack of inventory, but it's actually not. One of the things I hear from people all the time, are they concerned about pricing? Are they concerned about pricing? If I had a client below 350K, there's an argument to be made there around concerns for pricing and resale value. But if you look at it on a 2-year historical trend for 350K and up, there isn't as much concern over historical pricing and where pricing is going. It's more competitive, but the prices aren't jumping off the table. And this is factual information provided with data, right? It removes emotion from the conversation. All right. Now, when we look at the LOR report, and again, we look at lead metrics and lag metrics. The lag metrics is all the stuff that happened in the past that led to a closing. And the 2 numbers that I pay attention to the most are contracts. Well, the 4 numbers really are listings taken units, listings taken volume, contracts written units, contracts written volume, right? And what you can see here is February, there was a little bit of dip in contracts written and listings taken. It led to a dip in closings in March, right? But then in March, we had a solid bounce back, right? Bounce back from the trend. Bounce back from the trend where the March listings taken units was only down 8% with contracts written, buyer contracts written up 14%. What did it lead to? It led to an incredibly strong April. And now what you're seeing here is April this year versus April last year. Contracts written were up 40% and contracts written volume were up 63%. All indicators looking forward from what we can see is May and June will continue to be extremely, extremely strong and extremely, extremely healthy. People are still very much in the market. Homes are coming back on the market. Now, again, it's deceptive, right? Because everybody had the stay-at-home orders last April. So that's why I say the market is deceptive. 36% new listings taken is not really the truth to the matter. So that's why we look at it across the year-to-date number, which we'll share with you here in a second. So let's jump into it. Now, how are the brokerages trending so far year to date? So this is 2021 year to date top 10 brokerage comparison. And guys, for comparison's sake, the top 10 firms in southeastern Wisconsin control 63% of the closed dollar volume and 63% of the closed units so far year to date. Shore West has lost significant market share within the last 2 years. They're now at 15.6% market share. Their business is up 4.5% so far year to date. KW remains in the number 2 position at 12.3%. We have taken significant share over the last 2 years, going from around 8% market share to 12.3%. And the business so far for all Keller Williams Associates combined is up 26%. When you look here at First Weber is 9.5% market share. It's actually kind of remained pretty stable. Their business is up 10% so far this year. Remax up 2.6%. And then there's a pretty significant, about almost a 40% drop from Remax and First Weber down to Coldwell Banker. Their business is up 6.9%. Realty Execs is actually down 3.3% this year at 5.3% market share. And then you can see here, rounding out the top, the spots 6 through 10. Homestead up 27, Berkshire up 20, Firefly up 72, Powers down 2.3%. But these guys all have less than 2% total market share within the market. Again, and this is a testament to you guys and what you've done and seeing through the market of the moment in order to be consistent in your activities to be successful. Now here, I always share this graph because it shares our peers. And you can see for the most part, everybody is kind of trending in a very similar direction. And big shout out to the group and innovation. KW Innovation is now showing up in the top offices in Southeastern Wisconsin, up 125% on a rolling 12-month average, right? Everybody, you can see here, there are 4 people that are bucking the trend. Let's see who they are. KW Prestige, the office out of Germantown, up 99%. Again, taking market share within their market. It's incredible to see. Big shout out to the Lake Country crew. Again, continuing to climb. They now cracked the top 10 offices in Southeastern Wisconsin. Shout out to the KW Southwest crew down in New Berlin, up 24% on a rolling 12-month trend analysis. The second largest office in Southeastern Wisconsin. And then the KW North Shore office, which really is separating itself from the pack, continues to separate itself from the pack off of a very large base, up 27%. So guys, again, congrats to all of you. So how does this shake down when we compare our total businesses versus the market? Or if you want to compare your business versus the market, we'll make sure to send all these lore trends out to you. But here's exactly how it shakes out, right, guys? The way this shakes out is what you have here is the KW North Shore crew on the right. And you can see this is total year to date through the month of April. Big shout out, closed units up 27% when the market's up 8.8%. And again, if you want to define success, success is outpacing market averages, right? So what I would always tell people is take this column on the left, delete all the stuff on the right, and then compare it versus your own personal numbers to get a really good barometer as to what's going on. Closed volume, again, it's deceptive, guys. We got to look here. You got to remember when the market last year was down 30 to 40% in the month of April. So these numbers are going to be deceptive. The one thing that I'm paying most attention to across all these numbers is listings taken units. It's down 2% so far. New listings taken units down 2%. This group in the North Shore up 6%. Contracts written, these are buyer contracts written. The market, again, shows the demand, incredible demand of the market. The market, buyer contracts written up 14%. And the KW North Shore crew up 30%. Incredibly indicative to the demand of the market and also taking share of the buyer pool in the marketplace. Now, if you could see here from a comparison standpoint, here's the North Shore broker volume trend on a rolling 12-month analysis, right, guys? You can see here as it breaks down KW versus Shore West, all locations in the North Shore, First Weber locations in the North Shore, CB, Realty Execs, Powers, and Remax on a rolling 12-month number. Again, I can't say enough about what you guys are doing in the marketplace in terms of your activities, your lead generation, and your client first service mentality. Now, jumping over to the Lake Country crew, these numbers continue to be stupid and everybody thinks they're off the charts. Insane, and they absolutely are. And it's a testament to everything that everybody in the Lake Country office is doing. And you can see here again, the one thing I'm paying most attention to are these metrics down here because they are all indicators of leading success or future income. When you see listings taken units up 52% in a market that's down 2%, or contracts written units up 118%. Again, this is year to date. And reminder, I know, I get it. April, it's a little bit deceptive. So we're going to continue to look at this throughout the year. But it's a testament to everything you guys are doing out in the Lake Country market to continue to take share. Big shout out to that entire group. Here you can see as a breakdown versus your peer group on a rolling 12-month average, the Lake Country crew is nipping right at First Weber Delafield's heels. I can tell you it's $1 million difference when I look at it. And on a rolling 12 months, First Weber Delafield, it's up 17%, KW Lake Country up 85%. These trends are incredible. And again, it's a testament to this group to continue to fight for your fair share every single day. Congrats to you. Now, our innovation crew, I want to share with you guys something incredible stuff, right? And here's what you need to know. This is the rolling 12-month trend analysis across all brokers servicing the Tosa, Elm Grove, Brookfield communities, right? I didn't forget about you guys, right? And so I want to share with you this incredible story. Look at the trend lines that we're seeing, right? When you look at Coldwell Banker and Powers on a rolling 12-month average in these communities specifically, they're seeing some significant headwinds, right? Powers down 50% in these communities, Coldwell Banker down 12%. Firefly is having a really big shout out to the Sprague family. They're having an incredible success so far on a rolling 12-month of 41%. They're doing a lot of things to be disruptive within the marketplace. First Weber up 2%. They're pretty much remaining flat. Then you can see here, big shout out to the crew and innovation, up 48%, serving the Wauwatosa, Elm Grove, Brookfield communities. Now the second largest home seller serving these three communities. And then Shore West is down 3% on a rolling 12-month trend, pretty much just kind of holding steady. But if you're holding steady in a market like this, it actually means that you're losing market share. So big shout out to the crew and innovation on everything that you guys are doing. And again, as I look at it holistically across KW Milwaukee, you guys are absolutely freaking killing it. And it's a testament to you guys and what you do every single day to pour into each other, to learn from each other, and to navigate the market of the moment. So what does all this mean? All that mean is good and well on a piece of paper and really good trend lines and good success. Here's what it means to your pocketbooks, right? In the month of April, we paid out $4.9 million in commissions. When we compare that versus April of last year, it's up 153%. This is direct commissions that are being paid to your bank accounts. When we compare that so far year to date, we've paid $11.7 million. I mean, this is pure economic impact to you guys, to your families, to your friends. We paid $11.7 million in gross commission incomes earned, and this is just this group, up 42% overall for the year. Incredible stuff. Now, profit share, we've talked a little bit about profit share. What does that mean? We closed out the month of April. In the month of April, on May 21st, we are going to be giving back $122K in profit share back to our associates, right? Year to date, we're going to be giving back, year to date through the month of April, it will be $333,000 that are going back to agents in the form of profit share. It's a 367% increase versus year to date 2020. Again, market's a little bit deceptive because the business was down 80% in the month of April. So there's some soft comps here, but again, incredible stuff. It is the highest ever month of profit share being given back to associates in the company's history in April of 2021. So guys, congrats to you. And I challenge you. Oh, and one other little tidbit of fact for you, 37% of the total year, it will be paid out on May 21st. 122,000 is paid out for April activities, and that represents 37% of the total year. Incredible stuff as it relates to profit share, guys. Lifetime at KW across Milwaukee, associates have earned $3.2 million in the form of passive income. That is what we call the 401KW, baby. All right, and if you want to learn how to take your unfair share of profit share and learn and understand what it is and how to be a stakeholder, there's an incredible opportunity next Tuesday, May 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. with Aaron Kaufman. All right, guys, so all of this is incredible stuff, but we have a bunch of people to celebrate because we have awards for the month of April and year to date so far, and a big shout out again to everybody who is outpacing the market averages. So I shared a lot of the macro view of what's going on in the market, and all of that is a conglomeration of the micro view of what you guys have delivered for you and your families and your businesses. So let's take a look. Here we go. April Home Run Club. This is one listing taken, one contract written, one contract closed. This means you got paid today and you're going to get paid next month too. Well, big shout out to a handful of people. Shout out to Elena Zeman, who just had a baby and hit a home run club in the month of April. Elena Zeman, congrats to you and your family. on the new little boy in your family. Big shout out to Jeff Koenig and Lindsay Andrews, had a great month in the month of April. Blake McKinney, big shout out for Home Run Club. B. Pat, Bridget Ty, who just got into this business all of maybe 5 minutes ago. Big shout out to Bridget Ty on her birthday today. Jill Fink, congrats on a Home Run Club in the month of April. Gabby Borowski made a transition, is making it work. Gail Green, Kevin Gardy, Paula G, starting her own brand. Joey Carini, Karen Spinty, Karen, Chicago Botanical Gardens, Spinty, congrats. Casey Lopez, another new agent who's absolutely crushing it. Natasha Jambrick, great to see you on the Home Run Club. Big shout out to Pan Cooper, Robin McCormick, Sarah Reardon, Steph Cole, TJC, Tamika Jones Clay, Terrell Sondrup, congrats on a Home Run Club in the month of April, and William Lauer. Now let's celebrate our $1 Million Month Club for the month of April. Handful of people I want to shout out. Again, Andrews and Koenig having a great month. The birthday girl, Bridget Ty. Dan Mickelson had a great month in the month of April. Gail Ganley and Brett Timmerman continue to do your thing. Congrats, guys. Jackie Rubin had an incredible month in the month of April. John Lorenz, Katie Monteblano, Kirsten Lidstrom, Dan is Wild, Dan and Sherry Wild, right? The Right Group, Nikki Kunick, Lindsay Weber, Maggie Drain, and so many more here. Congrats on $1 Million Month in the month of April. All right, Deej, I'm flipping it over to you for Lake Country.
Yeah, you guys, that list just keeps going on, and some of these names you've heard before today. So Robin McCormick, congratulations, April volume 5.4, Nikki Kunick 1.7, Katie Montalbano 1.2. Year-to-date volume, Robin keeps the top spot based on her April volume 5.8. John Lorenz and Annie Stabler, pretty regular names showing up on our year-to-date volume there. Units, you guys, you can control the units, 11 for John, or 15 for John, 10 for Nikki, and 9 for Robin. Congratulations, you guys. And then our team volume, Gallagher Lake Country takes April with 5.9. Team Trimble comes in second, 2.7. And Bark River, ladies, 2.5. Congratulations, you guys. Year-to-date volume, Gallagher Lake Country, 15.8. Team Trimble, 5.4. And Pluster Property Group coming in at 5.3. So pretty close there, you guys. Love to see that neck and neck. Units, again, Pluster Property Group at 20, Bark River at 11, and then look at these 11s. It's across the board. So we'll see what comes in May. Congratulations, everybody. Great work. Love it.
Cool. All right, April individual volume for KW Milwaukee. Nick Fetting, big shout out to the boss, 1.4 million. Bridget Ty, the birthday girl, 1.2. Heather Townsend coming in there with $1 Million Month. Love it. Andrew Cavello, another $1 Million Month. Tyler Stanley, Spinty, Carini, and Simonis rounding out the top 10. All right, April team volume. Big shout out to the entire JSG team, killing the game in the month of April at 18.7. Stale Realty Group at 10.4, Falk Reuben Gallagher at 9.5, Amanda Schroeder, Liz 1.0, and Liz 2.0, 2.9, KCN, KG, and the KCN crew at 2.8, Duval Real Estate Group, the Zeman Group, Houseworks, Andrews and Koenig, and Marcus and Casey with On Point Realty Group, rounding out the top 10 teams in the month of April. Now, as Deej alluded to, right, the market gives you volume. Agents control their units. Here are the individual units year to date by agent. Nick Fetting taking the top spot. Big shout out to Schweppe coming in with 12 so far, having a great first half of the year. Shout out to Sarah Oberbrunner, Peter G, Tyler Stanley, Simonis, Julie Litkin coming in at number 9, and Heather Townsend at number 10. Congrats, guys. And here you can see year-to-date individual volume so far across the top 10. All right, now jumping over to the team units year to date, JSG leading the pace car as they have with 108 units so far closed to date, with Falk Reuben Gallagher at 65, SRG at 44, a handful of other people to call out, On Point Realty at 23, Duval at 26, Andrews and Koenig at 20, and Dusty's team rounding out the top 10 at 16. And you can see here year to date team volume so far, JSG taking over the top spot so far through April with a huge month at 43 million. Falk Reuben Gallagher right behind him at 41. SRG 23. Then Duval Group, a key home, On Point. Zeman Group, shout out to Jake and Elena. Dusty's team, KCN, and Double Bolt Realty. Big shout out to Samantha Cobb having a great start to her year. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up with this. Schroeder, we got a little bit of launch coaching at 10:30. What do we got coming this morning?
So everybody's had really great questions lately. So we're going to have an open forum today. So bring your questions about, what do I do once I have an accepted offer? Questions about how you're running your business, managing your time. People have brought some really great questions in the last few weeks. So we're going to totally open it up for questions today.
Beautiful. And guys, know this. We are working on a plan to bring people back together as it relates to some of our training and education, launch coaching, team meetings, and things like that. And just as we effectively shifted when this whole thing happened and we had to learn how to do a lot of things virtually, we're going to have to relearn how to flex the muscle of how to do things in person too, so we can provide flexibility of opportunities so that it can be we can live in a virtual world and a physical world. So stay tuned for some more information as we begin to shift more things in person, and we will do it in a safe way, but we want to bring the culture and the community and the people back together. And we're working on some ways to bring the people back together. And it starts with Thursday at Red Day with Zacharias Acres. So we hope to see you there. All right. And a reminder, because I just saw Janine's smiling face that showed up. We do not have launch coaching Thursday morning because you are encouraged to sign up for Red Day and to participate. So there is no launch coaching this week, Thursday. All right, guys, that is it for this week. Lake Country crew, I'll let you jump over to the Lake Country Meetup. North Shore and Innovation crew, TOSA crew, I will jump over to new listings and buyer needs. Guys, have a phenomenal week. Thanks for jumping on. We appreciate all.